Welcome everybody to Pro League here. We got the playoffs beginning for round 2. We are live at the Nexon Arena. My name is Valdez. Joining with me today is Wolf. How are you doing?
I am feeling great. I love that pick of us. We look like such a great duo. Now, going into this matchup today, it is the Telecom Wars, and that is so exciting. Some of the best play that we have seen in StarCraft 2 has come out of these two teams, individual leagues or team leagues, whichever way you want to look at it. These two teams have been highly regarded as the best. Unfortunately for both of them, they find themselves in the first round of the playoffs for round 2 at 4th and 3rd, and only one of these telecom teams, will be advancing further on into the playoffs.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it. If you remember, KT Rolster, they got 5th place in round number 1, so here they are. They finally made it to playoffs here in round 2, but they're in 4th place. Right now, CJ Entis and Jin Air, I wouldn't say by far the top 2 teams, but they're ahead right now, definitely playing a bit better. And both these telecom teams, as you said, fighting, struggling to move forward here in the playoffs. Now taking a look at some of the benches here, some serious faces all around. They're not playing around today, Wolf.
No, they're not. And look at Sorry there for a second. And Billowy as well. Life on the right side of things. And with these two teams today, this is the all-kill format. So those of you guys who have not been following Pro League forever, the playoff rounds are played in all-kill format. So the 2 starting players you saw earlier, Dark and Flash, will be the starting players. But after that, it's going to be just like the GSTL, with the only exception being that the maps are already predetermined, as we're going to take a little bit of a look at later. Here are our rankings for round 2.
Yeah, like we were saying before, CJ Entis and Jin Air Green Wings topping off the top 2 places here, 6-1. CJ Entis just barely squeaking it ahead there at 1st place with +11 and +10. But today's matchup, SK Telecom T1 versus KT Rolster, teams number 3 and 4 here for round 2. 5-2 were SK Telecom T1 with +6. KT Rolster 4-3, but the same indicator score there. And I have to say, this was one of the most, volatile round 2 matchups. We had a ton of really strong teams and a couple of not-so-good teams this time.
Sure. We already saw a roster change announced today, by the way, with Myungshik moving to StarTale. Expect to hear a lot more news like this in the coming days, as before round 3 starts, there are transfers allowed, of course, and when you transfer a player from one Kespa team to another, that player will be eligible, barring some sort of banning like parting, to continue playing in Pro League for the next round. So people have been asking me all day, will Myungshik be able to play for StarTale in round 3? The answer is yes.
Yep. And guys, one thing quickly here. The one player who isn't on the top 4 teams of round 2 here is Losira, that actually made it through. From MVP, he was their MVP, but unfortunately did not make it to the playoffs this time for round 2. Here we go with our point accumulate rankings. Here so far, SK Telecom T1 with the win that they had in round 1 and securing 3rd place already for round 2 are at the top with 182 points. CJ Entis looking to possibly take 1st place. They only have 1 game to play. That's going to be on Saturday, the finals of the playoffs for round 2.
Yep, that's going to be great. Let's take a look at these maps really quick. Okay, so Dark versus Flash, both of these getting the northeast arrow here. It's going to start things on Expedition Lost, which is our repeat map in this map pool. So should this go to Game 7, it will actually be repeated. I guess we're not going to talk about the order too much here.
They're like, Wolf wants to talk about maps? No, we're going to go straight to the next CG.
Well, we'll be talking a lot about them as the night goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, here are some stats here. Okay, so it looks like how many wins these two have had in all-kill formats as well as best of 7s. And you can see the scores for the wins that they've taken. Oh, no, how many wins they had in 4-0s, 4-1s, 4-2s, and 4-3s. Okay, so I misread that at first.
And in total. And jumping into another CG here. I guess this is how the players did for each round.
Yeah, how many points they got for each round, it looks like. No, that's not true either.
No, I think it's the wins, because Innovation 6-0, no losses, and then he went 2-3 in round 2.
Okay.
You can kind of just get a decent look here at how the players did, what players played, their win ratios, and such. We don't have the graph labeled. You definitely get points off of that if you were in math class. You need to have a graph labeled, man.
And they didn't put their name on the paper either, Valdez. They're going to get a 0.
Pretty much, man.
Well, taking a look at the KT Rolster players' records, there's 3 things. Okay, let me just take this back. 3 things that really stand out. Zest's performance is how inconsistent it was and how often he played. Stats having a great record in round 2. And then also Flash's terrible record overall in round 1 and his pretty okay, but not that great record in round 2.
Yeah, kind of floating in there at 3-2. Life, you will notice as well, only joining KT for round 2, so he only has round 2 score there.
Sam was first. It takes a -1 score there.
Guys, we have a family esports festival here in Korea. I think they did this last year as well.
Yep. It's in May here, the 2nd to the 3rd, so Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's at the World Cup Park, it looks like. So if you guys are interested in that, I know this is all in Korean, but maybe you can find some information online.
Yeah, I'm guessing that there's probably going to be a lot of fun stuff. I mean, check out that link down there at esports.or.kr/festival. If you go to that site, I'm sure there's going to be information. You might be able to meet some of the players, get some events, get some prizes and stuff like that. Speaking of prizes, we do have a few prizes here. The postseason Drew's Luck Czech event, the
live translations from Wolf and Valdez here of our events.
I don't some kind of roulette as well.
Lucky roulette on the finals, I guess.
Yeah,
it's possible you could win something there. Mouse pads. Looks like Starcraft 2 figurine of some sort.
Wow,
some
collector's edition, I think. And then I'm not sure what the online event is down there, but if you go to the ProLeague.sc2 page on Facebook, you can probably find more information out there as well.
Looks like some movie tickets, possibly.
Yeah, and something about the players' pictures. Oh, you guess which player it is based on what picture you're looking at. So it's like, who's that Pokemon, except for pro gamers in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. I'm just so excited to get into these games, to be honest. Like, enough with the events. We got, like, a ton of them. It probably doesn't even matter if you're here or if you're not here in Korea. I'm sure all you guys online are just waiting for the games to start. Dark versus Flash, man. This is going to be a crazy first game.
It's going to be a great first game. I'm super excited to see how this one pans out because it's going to lead to a lot of momentum for these two teams, obviously, because this is the all-kill format. Mm-hmm. The second game, of course, being the game where you can know the map and know your opponent right away, and you can prepare for it, and they can't prepare for you. So that's, if you lose the first one, at least you have that second one. But if you end up going 0-2, then you're in a position where your whole plans, any ideas you had, any sort of ideas you want to have for maps in the future, you might have to use players earlier than you wanted to, and things start to fall apart very quickly. So we do see a lot more all kills in this format because sometimes somebody like Stats, who's just tearing it up right now, could actually just beat so many people in a row.
Yeah, for sure. And I like how you say, there's a lot of strategy going into this as well, just from the teams, from the coaches even, who's going to come out on which map. Do you want to play to the map, or do you want to play to possibly, like you said, losing the first game? You want a sniper pick for the first player. Let's go into predictions, guys, here. Let's see how he predicted this first matchup. Looks like 5 of us actually going for Dark, and only the Monday caster, as usual, going for Flash, as he always does.
Yeah. There was a big, loud shout or something in the crowd to that effect when they saw it up there. Just a loud noise from a bunch of KT fangirls, I think.
I would assume. Yeah. Interesting to note, Yudehan, our analyst on the right side, he's been on a roll, actually, with predictions. He's in first place now. And, in fact, Moongley dropping down to second place. He's not going to be happy about that one, man.
No, definitely not. But just to point this out again, all casters, Koreans and foreigners, were all above 60% with our predictions, which is actually it's pretty incredible. It's
especially because in Pro League, best of ones, you get so many upsets, like all the time. Yeah. I think almost every day you get at least one upset, usually 2, one for each matchup. I think there's maybe only been 1 or 2 days where we haven't had an upset like that. So it's like, it's pretty crazy to actually have above 60%. I think we can all give ourselves like a collective pat on the back,
Yeah, and not only that, but also like just how many matches are so hard to call, where it's like so razor thin. You have at least one of those every day too, if not like 3 or 4. So let's go ahead and introduce Dark here. Coming out here is Imagine Dragons. He's 5-2, 8-5. He's played 2 ace matches all time, and he was looking really solid at the beginning of this year with this matchup, but he has not impressed as much and has not played as much for SKT in recent times.
Yeah. Really looking to get back on that roll. I mean, I believe he did qualify for Kesma Cup, so I think we should be seeing him there as well. Still hoping that he kind of takes off even more, reach a higher altitude. I feel like he still hasn't reached his full potential, even though he is such a strong player.
Yeah. He certainly is. And I think he's a great starting player. So is Flash. Flash is the thing about Flash is he's 4-8, right? But he is 2-1 versus Zerg, and he has had a bit of a better round 2. But look at his Pro League total games. He has almost 500 wins, okay? That's more games. That's like twice as many, 3 times as many games as many people have said they've had in their career, okay? So this guy has played so many games, has so much experience. He's a good all-around player. And, yeah, I don't favor him here, and I think most people don't. But he's still a great starting player. If he wins here, preparing for him and sending a second player out is not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Just going off some of his stats as well, I was looking at what we got here on our papers. He's actually had 10 3 kills and 3 all kills in Brood War and 6 2 kills and a bunch of other ones for StarCraft 2. This guy has been around for so long, and he knows how to take it here in all kill formats. Let's see if he can defeat Dark here in game number 1. Let's jump into it right now on Expedition Lost. Down here in the bottom left in the orange, it is Dark.
And his opponent to the top right in red, it's Flash.
Yeah, going to be an interesting one here. We were actually talking about this before the game started. We were like, Expedition Lost, it's not really a mech map. You know, you don't really see mech too often on this map. And knowing Flash, I mean, he used to play it a little bit, you know, towards the end of actually 2014. You know, maybe in the middle there. He used to do these kind of timing pushes at like 160 supply with his mech. Kind of playing it a little bit differently at the time. But ever since then, he's kind of backed off of that. And I can't really remember the last time we saw Flash go mech. It's possible that he did it like here and there, but I don't quite remember it. It doesn't really come to mind right now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the mech games that come to mind for Flash were always on King Sejong Station.
Yeah.
Like his mech game versus King, not versus King DRG, but versus DRG.
King DRG.
That was one of the most memorable Flash mech games that I can think of off the top of my head, especially just thinking about like historical games, because that was last year, so that was a long time ago. But
yeah. Outboxer, he used to do it a ton on that map. He would come out pretty often, but like we were talking about, you know, Flash, he doesn't really do it too often these days, and also on Expedition Lost, I don't think we'll see it. So,
cool first year for Dark. Perhaps expecting that he might be up against some sort of Proxy Reaper, popular on this map. We see it a lot. In fact, his teammate Sari has actually won a Pro League game with it. So,
yeah,
you got to be cautious here.
This could mean two things, you know. It's like Dark could think that he's better than Flash. He's like, okay, I can actually go pool first, and even though I might get a little bit far behind, it's going to be okay. But also, Flash, known to go CC first, and if you get that pool down first, you can definitely delay that CC building, especially if it's on the low ground. So
yeah, it's very important.
I like it. I like it out of Dark.
It's definitely, I think, a great opening for his, playing against his opponent.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Flash often does also do a lot of heavy Reaper commitment, so he's going to have his Queens out super early for that as well. Like, Flash is the type of guy who sometimes makes 3 Reapers when he does this build. Let's see how many he makes today. He's already starting, of course, with 1. We'll see how much he commits to after that. Actually, he's going to rally a second one out here.
Yeah, good call. Overlord is going to spot that Reaper, so he should know exactly what's going on from Flash. He's just got to wait and see if it is that multiple Reaper build, as you were saying. And
these 4 Lings are going to do exactly what you were talking about before. Even though it's not versus a CC first, they're still going to delay this CC. They're going to sneak around the Reaper, which the Overlord already saw the path of, and they're going to come over here and try to kill this SCV and slow this CC down. Meanwhile, the first Reaper does go into the main base. That Queen is out already, as I was saying, though, and is going to easily ward this away.
And then Flash is thinking, he's going to be like, okay, you didn't just make 1 Queen early. You've probably got the Lings out on the map, and I think you should keep that Reaper back, actually.
Yeah,
Dark doing a very nice job of hiding his Lings for so long, and I don't think Flash has noticed.
He didn't notice. You know, the Overlord saw exactly the path of the Reaper, saw the Reaper come out. Now he's going to force this CC, or at least slow it down. He's going to kill this SCV as well, it looks like here. 3 more shots will do it, 2 more. SCV is buying some time for that Reaper to come back. Actually may save the SCV. It'd be incredible.
Second Reaper comes back, he's going to save it. Oh! Pretty close.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over here, he sends another SCV down, but it's a bit too soon, just like that post on Reddit today. If your CC doesn't work, try again. But does finally get that building. And back at home, Dark has 2 bases up. He didn't have to deal with the Reapers at all because they were just, in the middle of defending this little pressure he put on.
Yeah, and look at that. Immediately throwing down a 3rd CC in the face of Dark. Dark is eventually going to get that scout just because there are no Marines out here. There's nothing to deny that Overlord. Overlord could just be in there for forever, basically.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to see this rock tower taken out. Further force Dark to expand to the right side of the map. Also to slow down any sort of pushes he wants to do aggressively across the map, which we have seen Dark do a lot of roach timings, and it is something that you're a bit weak to when you do this fast, greedy 3rd CC as Flash is known to do. Reaper goes and checks to make sure a 3rd hatch hasn't already been planted, and those rocks are getting pretty low.
I said Dark was going to be able to see that 3rd CC, but interestingly enough, even though that 3rd CC is planted straight at the front, the Overlord would not expect it, so he's checking the main. He's like, what are you doing exactly? He even hasn't seen that starport.
And I think this Roach Warren is actually not to be aggressive. I think it's because he's concerned it could be Hellbats hidden or something else that's aggressive because he hasn't seen that 3rd CC. So I think he's actually just going to make this Roach Warren defensively, and that's exactly what Flash wants. Flash would be so happy if he just makes a few Roaches defensively, as he has 3 CCs up and has Banshees to follow this up as well with his Hellions. He's going to be pretty happy with the situation. These rocks are finally going to fall here, it looks like. And that Banshee's still unscouted. He saw the stem research. That's all he's seen.
One Viking, actually, first. I guess just to clear up a couple Overlords first. He's not straight going for that Banshee, even though he does have that Tech Lab. Nice little wall created at the front. No run-by is going to happen here. Flash keeps everything alive, which is also very important. You always want to have that harassing force out on the map, possibly even delay the 3rd base of the Zerg coming up a bit. Or just to be annoying in general, just to always have that threat to the Zerg. That the Zerg will always know you have units out on the map that could do damage to you.
Well, I may have misspoken earlier because I didn't realize there was a lair on the way. And this is actually lining up to be what looks more like a Roach attack, even with upgrades here. He is getting the missile attack upgrade, all aligned up with his Carapace and his Roach speed. So his Overseer is going to come in here and try to scout.
Yeah, this is looking like, Lacira timing. I feel like Lacira actually played Flash recently and did this, or maybe some other Terran, but he loves to just put on the aggression, and Dark is also one of these Zergs that, even though it's not one of those rushed out, Roachling all-ins off of 2 base, like you were saying, he's got that lair out. He's going to have the speed, the +1/+1 for his Roaches.
Yeah, look at this, 5 Overlords on the way right now. I mean, he's ready to put some serious Roach pressure on here, and Flash is actually... He's doing what he usually does not, and is actually making safety siege tanks, not just 1, but 2, and he's making Marauders with this. He's going to be in decent shape to hold this. This is no Marine King 3rd CC here.
And what you'll also notice is that an Overseer actually of Dark went through the main base of Flash, and maybe he saw the siege tanks coming out, but we were talking about a possible big Roach attack coming, but immediately when he saw that, he just switched straight into drones. There is not another single Roach coming out there. He's got 8 Roaches down on the map. It's going to be great for defending, but that's going to be it. And for some reason, I don't feel like that was his initial plan.
I don't think so, yeah. I mean, you're not going to rush 1/1 in Roach speed to make 8 defensive Roaches. The Baneling Nest that you see now I don't think is going to be part of an attack either. It's just simply going to be defensive because we're getting towards that point where Flash has Stim. He's getting combat shields up, and he's going to start moving across the map to do some pressure as he secures his 3rd base. So, Ling speed isn't even done yet, so he'd be in a lot of trouble if a big attack hit him in the very near future. He needs that Baneling Nest. He needs that Baneling speed. Look at that. Instantly started as soon as that Baneling Nest is done. And he's going to try to take that 4th base on the left side of the map as well, which is going to be something he's going to need that Baneling speed in order to defend. It's scouted already by a Viking here.
Yeah. Look at the insane creep spread of Dark already out on the map. I just want to let this be known. He has so many tumors, especially going to that right side, which is pretty interesting because he is taking that left side base, He doesn't really have the same kind of thick creep spread over there. He does have a really nice line going out towards the left side.
And part of that is because of those rocks from earlier that were killed. He couldn't have spread it there because the rocks were in the way. Something that Flash planned from the beginning. It also delayed his 4th potentially as well. Yeah, to go on what you're saying about the tumors, there are literally 50 active tumors on the map with 8 more on the way at this point in the game. That's pretty insane. He's really, really spreading creep hard. And now, arguably in 3 different directions. Now with this attack, though, this timing here works out pretty well for Flash because he has Stim, he has combat shields. His 1/1 isn't ready yet, and he's going to get a bit surrounded. Siege tank does siege up, and he has to lift. Well, this attack was like a great timing to move out with all of his upgrades kind of lining up here, but he was scouted and he got shut down as his tank got caught as well, and that's very expensive that he loses here.
Yeah, kind of taken by surprise by some of the units coming out of the left side from that brush. As our observer's pointing out, actually, we're all on the same page here at SPL2015.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Siege Tank's not used up, not enough units. Dark had everything prepared. Even though Baneling Speed wasn't ready, there was enough stuff there, and totally gets shut down.
Yeah. Spire's done now, so shutting down these drops is going to get a little easier. And we're seeing Corruptors. I was wondering if we're going to see this from Dark today, because he did kind of make a bit of a departure from his style for a while. We haven't really seen him do too much Corruptor play in this matchup, but he's going back to it today. And I love to see it because it's just different. It's unique. He's totally prepared at all of his bases. He's got units at all of his external bases. He's got units at his third. He's got units at his fourth. He's got creep spread to the top.
Yeah. That's what I really love. It's like he's already broken down those rocks to prepare to take that fourth base, plus he's got that creep spread there. There's like no way Flash is going to get any damage done over here. And not paying attention for a bit there, he's going to be forced to stim back and then pick up and leave. And
Flash, yeah, he hasn't gotten much done at this game at all. His armory is late as well. Notice how late his armory is here. Can't actually get 2 upgrades yet. +2 Carapace is about to be done here for Dark. He's losing the medevac.
Full medevac at that. This is going to force him totally back, and Dark has complete control of this game.
Yeah, he really does. Look at his bank, too. I think right now he's kind of trying to decide how much gas he wants to commit to more Corruptors, or if he wants to make a ton of Banelings to attack. He has 36 more Lings on the way. That almost tells us the answer right there. Now, it's a bit difficult to deal with Widow Mines without Mutalisk, because you're going to have to really split your Lings onto those, or you're going to have Banelings crash into them, because with just pure Corruptor, Mutalisk can fly in with an Overseer and pick off Widow Mines somewhat safely and somewhat, with a mobile type of micro, whereas Corruptors, well, they just can't shoot the ground. So he's going to have to be very careful about engaging into this, because there are already 7 Widow Mines on the map. It's very difficult to engage into.
A couple of Widow Mine drops coming out here. That could be dangerous if 5 Widow Mines are not with this army. Let's see how this goes. Trying to push forward right now is Dark. He has to be really careful about these Widow Mines. He's just going in. He doesn't care. There's just so much Dark here. Pushing forward right now off creep.
So those Banelings I was talking about, Siege Tanks at the front helping out a little bit too. And there are a few Marauders here. He needs to siege out that tank at the back, but he's not. And with all these Roaches here, it looks like he might just be able to power through. He takes an excellent trade here, despite the fact that those Widow Mines were not present in this fight. Flash, he had a ton of Siege Tanks siege up. I just don't think he thought that kind of attack was going to be coming. Yeah. He's ready for a smaller scale attack, but it was pretty huge.
Getting some extra damage done there. 10 drones. It's a pretty nice number with those 2 drops. He was actually a little bit slow on those as he was multitasking back at home. But at least finding a bit of damage. But here we go, another counterattack coming in here from Dark, not giving Flash any room to breathe. A lot of these tanks being surrounded by Lings.
Yep, he just committed so much to Siege Tanks, and when you lose a fight like this, and all you've got is Siege Tanks here, you don't have any more Widow Mines, then just Speedlings alone are going to get the job done, especially when you have better upgrades. He has the armor upgrade for his Lings, he has the upgrade for his Roaches, and now he has, a huge advantage. He's about to, actually no, he does already have 2-2 for his Lings here.
Huge Widow Mine hit there. Not sure if it's going to matter, though. So many reinforcements of Dark just pushing forward. He's now up there at the production.
Exactly. He just doesn't have an answer for these Lings anymore. He doesn't have any Widow Mines here. He's making enough units to come out to hold this off for a little bit longer, but even his medevacs are getting sniped as they spawn here. And I think this next wave of Lings is actually just going to do it. He just totally ignores the third base. GG. Dark takes it, takes the lead here for SKT. Using his style, doing what he loves. And this is now terrifying for KT Rolster to have to prepare for. Who are they going to send out?
Yeah, that's a good question. They do have a lot of guys in their arsenal. They do have a lot of options here, but you have to think, more forward, about the map, as well as just what's going to come out for the map in map number 3, set number 3. Who do you think is going to come out next for SKT? Stuff like this. And big win from Dark. They're kind of what we expected. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's going to be hard for KT here from here on out. Always getting that first win, especially in an all-kill format, is really, really important. It gives that first guy a lot of confidence as well. He's like, okay, I took out 1. I did my job, kind of. Now let's see if I can take more. All the pressure is on the guy coming out here for KT to take down Dark now.
What do you think about Life coming out here? ZBZ on Vonnie?
I mean, the ZVZ is great. I mean, you can't ignore that, but also it is ZVZ. Do you want Life to be knocked out here in a quick game of ZVZ, like one missed micro, and you lose Life, one of your best components of your team?
You know who is pretty good at this map, at least in my opinion, is or who would be good for this map. We haven't seen that many stats on the map just yet because it's pretty new. Is Zest as well. Someone we could see come out here. Someone you might not want to send out early, but that's the same kind of reasoning as Life. I feel like Life on a 2-player ZVZ map has so many different opportunities to get in somebody's head. You know, early pools are possible. We've also seen from Life in the past, you know, just playing, like, tricking people into thinking he's going to do it all in and just playing really strong timing off 3 bases later after he turtles up for a bit. I mean, he's very versatile in ZVZ, which is why he's so scary in that matchup. And I don't know, I'm kind of feeling Life here, but there's a lot of different choices that KT has, but none of them are easy choices.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just really curious to see who's going to come out here. Not sure if we'll do predictions for that, but let's say it were to be Dark versus Life. Would you pick Life?
Yeah, I would.
I think I would as well.
I think he's a good choice here. There are other players that we like. We're like they're on the table. I'm kind of like on the tip of my tongue because I'm like I don't even want to say that they could come out, but they could. Like TY could come out here. Sleep could come out. There could be snipers because game number 2 is the one where you are the most prepared for, and you also have this inherent advantage because your opponent has prepared for, you know, in this case, Dark has prepared for Flash, but he can't know for certain who the player is going to be on Vonnie. He just doesn't know. But you know, you have that contingency plan. You know, okay, if he loses, we've already got a plan in play. They're not making this choice right now. They made this choice a long time ago on Friday.
I'm glad you mentioned that as well. You know, we could even see Sleep. He was here. I saw him in the room. You know, we haven't seen him in a long time, but maybe he comes out here as ZVZ Sniper.
Oh, Germany Hearts Pro League. Look, Mom, I'm in Korean television, and Leipzig meets Seoul.